Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, and thank you for coming back to the revamped Zach Lee Show, where we talk about anything and everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. I got some big plans coming for this show that I am extremely excited about. Got the whole vision in my head, now it's just about working my way up to that vision. But that's enough about that. Of course, we got some things to talk about today, so let's just get right into them. But first, I do have to give a quick message about this video's sponsor, athleticcases.com. If you have a favorite player in the league, then why not rock them on the back of your phone to show your support? No matter what the sport, athleticcases.com got you. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off any order. Check the links in the description to learn more. Now though, on to the video. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Phoenix Suns got involved in a great game yesterday. It turned into a showdown between Russell Westbrook and Devin Booker, in which Westbrook scored 43 points while Booker had 39. And after the game, Devin Booker said that before he came into the league, he didn't like Russ at all. But now that he has had the opportunity to go head to head with him a few times in his career, he has a newfound respect for Russell Westbrook. Before I was in the NBA, he was a player I didn't like. But since my rookie year, we exchanged words. We were talking trash a little bit. And ever since then, he's become somebody I watch. His passion, his energy he brings every night is unbelievable. Later saying, you know it's going to bring it every night, and that's something our team should look at. Look at his passion for the game, how he cares about it and how he brings it every night. All 82 to 100 games, however many they play, he brings that energy. So I think us as a team know that we try and go out there and match that. Now we as fans can debate all day long over Russell Westbrook. Whether you think he's the best point guard in the league because he averaged a triple-double last season and low key, even though no one's really talking about it, I don't think many people have realized it, he is extremely close to averaging a triple-double again this season, only 0.3 rebounds away. But as I was saying, whether you praise Westbrook or say that he's a glorified stat chaser, there is one thing that has to be acknowledged here. There is no other player in the league, maybe not even in the history of the league, that has ever gone as hard as Russell Westbrook does every single game. The amount of energy that Russell Westbrook has on the court is unreal. You recall the triple overtime game the OKC had against Philly back in December, from the opening tip of the first quarter all the way into the third overtime as he logged his 52 minutes in that game. The way and the energy that Westbrook played with the entire night never changed, not even for a second. You had all those other guys out there like Joel Embiid, even looking at Paul George on Westbrook's team. As great of players as they are, they couldn't keep up with Westbrook as the game went on. That's why you saw Westbrook out there still throwing it down on guys like Saric, making plays down the stretch in the third overtime to get OKC that win. It's like as the game went on, he was able to start doing more damage. When you have a guy like Westbrook going 100 to 110%, if you give the same energy, you might be able to match him. You can slow him down sometimes. Thing is though, you have to keep playing with the same level of energy and intensity that he does all night long. And as the game wears on, for most people that's hard to do. You might be able to match him for the first 3 to 3.5 quarters. And for some rare players, all 4 quarters, but definitely not in overtime. You could try, but so far it hasn't worked out for anyone that has ever had to go extra innings with Westbrook. That's why the Oklahoma City Thunder are 3-0 in overtime games. You just can't keep up. The guy has a motor like none other. And I don't think we as fans appreciate that enough. It's clear that the players do. That's why Devin Booker went from a guy who didn't like Westbrook to then going up and playing against him, realizing what he was doing and having a newfound appreciation for what he can do. None of us have ever had to go out and play an 82 game NBA season plus the playoffs. We don't know how hard it is for Westbrook to do what he does firsthand. We probably can't even imagine the amount of energy that he has to use on a nightly basis. Let me know what you guys think about Westbrook down in the comment section below though, but now it is time to get into Around the League, where I give you guys quick updates and news and other things going on in the NBA. I told y'all that Westbrook has a lot of energy. Dude has energy to spare. That is why yesterday, when play paused so a wet spot could be wiped up on the court, Westbrook decided it would be faster if instead of waiting, he just did it himself. Take a look.
You got to get down and dirty and force the Suns into some tough situations offensively. And as Russ is doing a little bit of house cleaning.
You know what? If you want the job done right, reminds me of the All-Star game in New York a couple of years ago.
where he did the same thing at Madison Square Garden. You gotta love that guy, huh?
When you watch Russell Westbrook play, you really never know what you might see. Kevin Durant confirmed that he is going to re-sign with Golden State Warriors this offseason, and he had a little bit of fun when doing it. As in an interview with The Athletic, the question of his offseason plans came up, and this is how that conversation went. To make it simpler, is it 100% in your mind that you will be back in the Warriors next season? Yeah, Durant said, yeah. Well, actually, Durant said, his sarcastic grin obvious, ready to lean into an internet joke about him. I want to wait and see who wins the championship, and whoever wins that, that's who I'm going to sign with. Well played, KD. Well played. Stephen Curry had to leave the Warriors game yesterday against the Hawks after tweaking his ankle in the first quarter, which is very scary because if you remember early in his career, his ankle was a main concern. It was always getting hurt, and furthermore, an ankle injury kept him out for a decent amount of time this season as well. So that's why Curry, even though he was able to play on it after tweaking it for a couple of quarters, was eventually pulled from the game as a precautionary measure. Curry, though, doesn't expect to miss any time with the injury, as he said this. It was basically their call. Frustrating, but big picture. I understand. I don't think it's going to be anything that'll keep me out. It was a good call from the Warriors staff to keep him out the game. Keeping him in wasn't worth the risk. Speaking of injuries, though, John Wall, who has been out for the Wizards for at least a month already, is apparently still 2 to 4 weeks away from making his return. It's a good thing the Wizards know how to win without him, or this injury would have been serious trouble for them. Another player who is expected to make his return to the court in about a month or so is Kevin Love. However, he is hoping that he can be back before the original 8 weeks that he was supposed to be out are up, as he said this yesterday. If I can get back before 8 weeks, great. I'm hoping that's the case. In his case, the sooner will be the better, since he still does need to learn how to mesh and develop chemistry with all the new players that the Cavs acquired. That wraps up the Around the League segment. Now we can just get into our next topic about none other than Mr. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a competitive freak. The fact that he's not able to play with the Wolves or even be at the games right now with them is eating him alive. That is why yesterday, during the Wolves vs Jazz game, a game that a competitive guy like Jimmy Butler lives for, he decided in order to get some of that competitive juice out of him, he had to take to Twitter for the first time since December of 2016. And overall, I mean, this game was something else. Karl-Anthony Towns got, I believe, his first ejection of his career in the second quarter, and it didn't stop there. Midway through the fourth is where things got really interesting, as Jeff Teague felt as if he was fouled on a play by Ricky Rubio, so as he was getting back on defense, he completely decks Rubio, lowers his shoulder, and catapults him into the first row, which gets him a flagrant 2 and toss out of the game. Like I said though, for a competitive guy like Butler, seeing that made him want to get out there on the court even more, as like I said, he took to Twitter for the first time since 2016 to say this. Haven't used Twitter in years, but yeah, Jeff, that's what I like to see. Rubio getting up quick for no reason, but it didn't end there. Not too long afterwards, Tom Thibodeau and Jay Crowder got involved into a little heated word exchange. The two of them had to be held back and separated, and Coach Tibbs, I like that you're clearly not scared of anyone and that you would stick up for your players or whatever it was that caused you to do that, but you gotta pick your fights wisely here. Did you seriously want to throw down with Crowder? Do you think that would be the best decision for your health moving forward? Do you want to end up as a vegetable? Anyways, after seeing this, Jimmy Butler once again took to Twitter, tweeting out 2 times in the same day. This is a record, ladies and gentlemen. This time it was to call out Jay Crowder for confronting his coach, saying, "Jay, get away from my coach. You don't want no smoke either." To which Jay Crowder responded by saying, "I don't Twitter beef. I'll leave that to you, but you got my phone number and you know my home address. The rest can be history." It would be all for Jimmy Butler and Jay Crowder throwing down. Maybe they could get on the undercard of the KSI Logan Paul fight. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, as Jay Crowder did clear this up after the game, saying pretty much the same thing, that this was just Jimmy Butler's competitive side getting the best of him, that he just needed to get something out and that it's cool, they're basically friends.
He's a competitor, he's a trash talker, he's all of the above, and he wishes he was out there competing in a game like that. That's what's probably eating him up the most, is he wishes he was on the court fighting with his guys, but that's my guy.
As for Jimmy Butler though, he seems to be calling out everyone as of late. It wasn't too long ago that he called out Lou Williams for that one-on-one game for $100,000. And now this is what happens when you have such a high competitive spirit mixed with a guy like Jimmy Butler, who clearly just doesn't care what people think about him anymore. And again, maybe he never cared in the first place, as he is the same guy that removed his rear view mirrors in his car a few years back. I like this side of Butler though. I love to see more of this. It's entertaining. Now though, it's time to take a quick look at the rest rest of the games from yesterday. Things got out to a shaky start for Toronto in this one, but they eventually got things together to claim the 102-95 win over Washington. DeRozan had 23 points, but CJ Miles was huge off the bench as he scored 20 points while connecting on 6 of his 9 triple attempts. Typically, it's the Sixers who let teams back into the game in the fourth quarter. However, this time it was the Sixers who came back in the fourth quarter to get the 110-99 win over Charlotte. Joel Embiid with 23 points and 15 rebounds, while Ersan Ilyasova was also huge in the fourth quarter, making his debut for the Sixers after they signed him with 11 points in the fourth quarter and 18 on the night. Even with Steph Curry going down with a sprained ankle, the Warriors were still able to get the 114-109 win over the Hawks. Got scary towards the end though, as the Hawks had a chance to tie the game up with a 3, but Andre Iguodala came up with a clutch steal and dunk to put this game away. KD with 28, while Bazemore tallied 29 for Atlanta. After a regrettable 2 losses to the Mavs and the Hawks, the Pacers bounced back to beat the Bucks 103-96. Oladipo with 21 on the night, while Chris Middleton tried his best from Milwaukee with 30 points. In a tight race for the 8th seed in the Western Conference, the Nuggets cannot afford to lose to teams like the Grizzlies, so it was a good thing they didn't lose to the Grizzlies, as Gary Harris in his 26 points as well as Will Barton's 24 off the bench were enough for Denver to get the 108-102 win over Memphis. It's a really good thing that the Nuggets didn't lose, because the team they're chasing for the 8th seed got a dominating win yesterday. The Clippers dismantled New York to get the 128-105 win. DeAndre Jordan with a near 20-20 game with 19 points and 20 rebounds. And the Pistons lose to the Magic in overtime 115-106. Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, and DJ Augustine all played extremely well for Orlando. Gordon with 27 points and 12 rebounds. Vucevic with 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists, while DJ Augustine had 20 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. A costly win for Chicago, as now Dallas has an even bigger lead on them for the race to the bottom. 108-100 the final score in favor of the Windy City. Both rookies played well though. Markkanen with 17 points and 12 rebounds, while DSJ scored 25. That wraps up all the action from last night though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos, as well as join the quest to 200,000 subscribers. Hashtag a milli in a year. Remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday that player was Damian Lillard with his 35 points and 7 assists. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here. Peace!